I don't even know if anyone else in the world remembers this movie, but when I was a child, this was like my first big obsession. I think Harry Potter was first, but Harry Potter's a lifetime obsession. This is the first movie that like I fell in love with as a kid that like helped shape my growing upness, you know? And I hadn't watched it in probably like 10 years. I don't know why, I just haven't. But I bought it on Blu-ray because I figured after I watch it, I'd want to rewatch it a bunch of times, and that is true. Is it a perfect film? Not even close, but I'm still very excited to talk about robots. Robots was released in 2005. It was written by David Lindsay Abaire and Lowell Graz and Babalu Mandel, and directed by Chris Wedge. It's a lot of names, and I apologize if I pronounce any of those wrong. No spoilers, but the general idea is that this is a world of robots. Robots exist, no humans exist, that's where we are. It is a gigantic world of robots out there, and there is a robot city similar to New York City where everyone goes to be artistic and inventive and create new things to help robots get better. You know, it's like New York City where like do art stuff, make people feel better, blah 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 blah. This is all about upgrades. People upgrades. These people want to look nice, they want to feel nice, they want to be upgraded. Which of course, because America, there are people at the top who have all the upgrades they want, and there are people at the bottom who have nothing, and they're just rusting and they're dying because their parts are falling off. And Rodney Copperbottom, a man from a small uptown New York place, decides to go to Robot City to prove to his father that he can be somebody, and he wants to help the world just with all of his inventions and ideas he has. Right? That's the idea of the film. Of course, there's a lot more to it, but like that's the general idea. And I want to start at the beginning where there's like about 15 minutes of getting to know the character, Rodney Copperbottom. And it starts off in this beautiful moment where, you know, he's leaving to go to Robot City. And he's talking to his dad, and he's like, listen, I have to go. I have to go to this big place because I don't want to be stuck being a nobody. I don't want to be a nobody like you, basically, is what he's saying. And this is something that, like, really hit me, and I was really surprised by it, honestly, because I didn't expect to be emotional during this film. Like, I'm an adult. I'm 21, for God's sake. Like, I've seen this movie hundreds of times, and I haven't seen it in 10 years, but granted, but still. And I'm sitting here, and his dad's like, hey, go be somebody. Do what you need to do. I believe in you, and if you ever have problems, you can always come back here. And that, like, hurt really, really deep, because, like, when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to go to New York City. Like, until I was, like, 19, my plan was to move to New York City and, like, go to school for theater. I even went to school for theater for one semester to, like, be an artiste. But like, as soon as I started doing it, I realized how unhappy it made me, so I stopped doing it. But like that feeling of just like wanting to be somebody is something that's never left me since I was a child. Because I grew up in a small, crappy, upstate New York town. Like I don't like it there. Every time I visit Norwich, I'm just like, ugh. Like no offense to anyone who lives there, but it's true. Like that town is run into the ground, and that's where Rodney comes from. And that's like so relatable to me, to be stuck in this small town. And like, yeah, I'm not much better than the small town, but I feel like I could be if I leave. So I left, and now I'm in Oneonta, which granted isn't much bigger, but it is bigger, and the community is much better in general. We have much more liberal people. Not saying that it's wrong to be conservative, but like that's where I'm at. That's where I like to be surrounded by, and it's just a happy place for me, and that's where Rodney goes in Robot City, and that is why I got emotional during the beginning of this film. I realize it was a long rant, but I feel like it's important for you to know why I feel emotionally connected to this weird, small, childish cartoon movie. But it's true, I did. And then from there it progresses, and the story isn't great. I will say, the story is fine. It is very kidified. It is very much like, they end it really fast. The pacing's really crazy towards the end. It's like, and we're done. I'm like, oh my god, wow, that was fast. But it is still a good movie. Like, I still like it. The animation's beautiful. The music is incredible. It is honestly one of my favorite soundtracks of all time now. It's so good. And soundtrack, a score. It's my favorite score. Not my favorite score, but one of my favorite scores. I really, really enjoy the score. You should really watch it just for the score. It's so good. And I like the voice acting a lot. Robin Williams, the reason why I watched this film today, is extraordinary as Fender. And, of course, Ewan McGregor as Rodney Copperbottom. There's so many brilliant voice actors in this film. It's incredible. And it's a fun story, if not a little bit sloppy, but it's... I don't know, it's got a special place in my heart, but I do realize that it is not as good as I remember as a kid, which is always unfortunate. That's how I felt about Jumanji as well. Like, I loved Jumanji growing up, watched all the time. I revisited it last year during Thanksgiving, and I was like, I don't like it as much as I thought I did. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited I took the time to watch this one. It is the next step in the Robin Williams series, so I was really excited to visit it. And last week I was supposed to watch a movie with Robin Williams in it. I forget, House of D. Couldn't find it anywhere on the planet of Earth. So I guess we're skipping it because I don't know where to find it. If you know where to find it, let me know. I don't know where it is. I don't think it exists. But anyway, this Robin Williams movie is excellent. I love it, truly, like, just deep down inside. But unfortunately, I do understand that it is not a very good movie. Like, it's good, but it's not, you know, like Ice Age. It's not, you know, like a Pixar film. It does lack a lot of the things that make cartoon movies, animated movies, you know, pop for me, and that is unfortunate. But I'm going to go ahead and give Robots a B. Have you guys seen Robots? Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about it. Does anyone else feel like the nostalgia from it? Like, I love it. I encourage you to watch it again if you haven't watched it recently, and just so you know how not good it is in terms of, like, what you thought it was, because I grew up thinking this movie was perfect, and it is far from it, unfortunately, but it does have an emotional core to it that resonates with me a lot, so I was really happy to watch it again. So anyway, if you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a whole lot. I would truly appreciate it, so consider doing so. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.